Welcome to another edition of the LL Basketball Roundtable. Yesterday was the first day of spring sports practice in high schools in Pennsylvania, but we're still doing the March Madness thing in hoops, so we're here to talk about the conclusion of the District 3 tournament, which just happened, and the beginning of the state playoffs, which is actually tonight as we sit here, last night as you will, when you will see this, but lots of stuff to talk about, obviously. This is the best time of the year in high school hoops. My name is Mike Gross, I'm your host, and the show is brought to you by Thaddeus Stevens College of Technology. To my left is John Walk, who covers boys basketball for LNP, LancasterOnline.com. Jeff Reinhardt, the same function on the girls' side. And hey, we were all up at Giant Center hanging out over the weekend, and we saw lots of things. Jeffrey, tell us some of the things you saw.
Ooh, okay, I saw two Lancaster County teams win district championships, non-LLs. Give it up for Linden Hall. Independent, Lions, join the LL League next year, don't forget. They're coming in September. Four-time reigning champ now in AA, that's pretty good. They beat Columbia 39-30. Linden Hall jumps up 14-0 early, and they were playing great. Columbia goes 20-2, gets the lead. Linden Hall showed their experience, I thought. Their big game, championship. I thought they were really chiseled in the fourth. Needed a stop, got it. Needed a rebound, got it. Needed a big shot, got it. Like every trip.
Not to take anything away from Linden Hall. 4th Street, I mean, that's
awesome.
A tremendous achievement.
Yes.
But I was very surprised that Columbia didn't come up a little bigger.
A little bit.
In that spot.
That's got to be one of their lower scoring.
30 for sure. I mean, they had 2 points in the first quarter. I picked Columbia.
Well, the two sisters are averaging 40.
Between them, yeah. I mean, I picked Columbia at the start of the tournament. They were whatever and won 23
I mean, I think most
1.
people would have picked Columbia to win that game.
Top seed, and just the way they can get up and down and run. But Linden Hall really set the pace.
Yeah.
Their speed.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, and fourth quarter, they made the plays when they had to make the plays, and Columbia didn't make some shots. Tide goes down for only the second time, so Linden Hall, tip of the cap. Mount Calvary Christian Chargers. How about this crew?
They'll charge.
9 losses, 9 kids on the roster, very short bench. Beats Christian School of York. Great finish.
An exciting finish.
Very exciting finish. I'll give you the Cliffs notes. Tie game. Sophia Ansel for Country Day gets fouled. For Mount Calvary gets fouled. 6 seconds to go. Misses the first, makes the second. 27-26 Chargers. Christian School of York inbounds, goes the length of the court, and Olivia Rutt for Mount Calvary comes in, swats the ball away as the Christian School of York kids going up for the game-winning layup. She comes in, bats the ball away at the horn, and the Chargers win. Second finals appearance, first championship for Mount Calvary. So, tip of the cap to that crew.
I'll be the nasty guy here.
Uh-oh.
It would have surprised no one if they had not called the foul that was on the one end.
Yes.
And ended up in the game.
Yes.
And it would have surprised no one if they would have
called the foul.
I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but
I talked to two kids, Mount Calvary kids, and the coach, and I think they all kind of said, we were waiting for the whistle. And Rudd, who made the play, said, I didn't hear a whistle, I heard the buzzer, and I knew we won. And I was like, great quote, thank you.
And hey, they were at the other end of the court from us. I'm not saying that it was a foul.
Yeah.
But it would have surprised no one on the planet
if they would have blown the whistle. But she made a great play, popped the ball out, and they win. So if you would have told me back in December that 2 local teams will win district titles, I might not have picked, I don't know if I would have picked Mount Calvary. I might have picked Linden Hall, but I thought, sounds like Columbia's year.
Yeah.
But the AA champ and the single A champ go to Lancaster County teams, so congrats to those two.
And on the boys' side, kind of extraordinary.
Unbelievable.
Our performance, the league's performance, and Lancaster County's performance. John.
So you got 6 classifications, right? That's 6 district championships. That's 12 teams competing. Of those 12, 6 were from Lancaster County. So you're talking half the teams in district finals were from Lancaster County. In 6A, it was Warwick, first district final since 1984. Held it close in the first quarter, kind of let it get away from them after that, battled back in the third, and then let it get away from them after that. Falling to Reading, probably one of the best teams in the state. If not, the eventual winner, right?
and in both cases, I thought both those cases that you talked about within the game were Reading turning up their defense to this insane level, and poor Tate Landis double teamed for 94 feet by that kind of quickness. I felt bad for the kid, but
and talking to the Reading coach Perez afterwards, he said, our goal is to always keep the ball handler looking down at the floor, and he's showing me examples
that's
of
a
it,
really
basically,
good point,
because there were oftentimes, I shouldn't say often, there were sometimes when they're bringing the ball up the floor and somebody's getting doubled on Warwick, and there's an outlet kid way down by the basket, but you can't get to him because you're just looking down.
When you in those situations, when you hear somebody in the stands saying somebody's got to be open, you think somebody doesn't have a clue in the stands.
Right. All right, and then 5A. Wow, Lampeter Strasburg goes to the 5A championship game, beats Shippensburg 66-57, just the second district title in program history, first since 2002. They're 27-0, kind of on this historic pace. It's already the best season in program history, considering they're undefeated at this stage. With, I think they're the first. They definitely are the first LS team with both a LL League title and a district title. Now let's see what they can do in states. I want to stop there quickly just to kind of pick your brain on, hey, what are the chances here?
Well, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. They're 5A. 5A is pretty strong in the West, and LS is kind of in what we used to think of as the Western half. It doesn't really work that way anymore. But the monster in that class is Imhotep Charter from Philadelphia, the public league champion, and they're in the opposite half of the bracket. So a lot of miles to go before we get to this point. But if they would play Imhotep, it would only be in the state final. And let's be real here. This is an amazing season, no matter what happens.
Sure.
For LS. I mean, no matter what happens from here on out, and they're a remarkable team, and they've been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. All right, and then District 3, Class 3A, Columbia goes in it and wins it. First district title for the Tide since 1994. They're 22-2 overall. And they ended up beating York Catholic, second time this year that they topped York Catholic. Final score is 47-30. Mike, you covered that one. Seemed kind of, York Catholic comes out in a zone, and Columbia oftentimes, they've been playing against the zone all year. Most of the time they're patient and work inside. This time, we're just going to come out and launch threes. And then that wasn't working early on.
This was a little different. It was a 3-2 zone, and York Catholic did have a little size on the back end, so Columbia took a while to solve that, and then ultimately they made them come out of the zone, and then they really picked them apart. So I think York Catholic kind of delayed the inevitable a little bit. The first time they played, Columbia won by 30.
Right.
And I was surprised to hear Kerry Glover, I talked to him about this after the game, say they played man-to-man that whole game. But he knew from watching film, he said that they were not going to do that again. That they were going to see a zone again.
Okay.
Columbia was the class of that class, and they certainly deserved to win it. And they certainly did not deserve the bracket they got in the state playoffs.
Which we'll get to in a second. And congrats again to the Tide. I saw the next day afterward, and I live in Columbia, but I was still in Hershey when this happened. But they gave them the Columbia kids a parade through the borough there after they won it late at night, coming back from Hershey. District 3, Class 2A, Lancaster Mennonite gets back to the final and wins it again. Back-to-back District 3 2A champions are the Blazers. They topped Antietam 52-46, probably one of the better games, district championship games of the weekend, really back and forth game. I think there were 6 lead changes. The story coming out of that, at least for me, David Weaver, 6'6" junior center, second-year starter, broke his ankle over the summer, was out all year, and is basically just now getting back, getting to a good game shape where he can run up and down the floor, essentially. He's always had the size, and I've kind of been waiting for him to get to this point where on Saturday, 12 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks. He was a presence everywhere, and really prevented Antietam to do much inside and kind of forced them to stay outside a little bit. So back-to-back district championships for Lancaster Mennonite, just a 3rd overall. If you remember last year, they won it for the first time since '97 when Seth Buck Buckwalter was an all-state standout. So he was a big guy. So he's been teaching David Weaver now. So David Weaver's really been stepping up. We know about Camden Hurst, and Jaden Mast had a really good couple games in district. So they got like 3 nice, really scores there. Declan Hurst can shoot the 3 and play defense. So they got a chance here.
I think they do. I think 2A is a much different animal than 3A, I think I was impressed with the kind of the toughness that Mennonite showed up at Hershey, and again, the big kid was the difference. He really was. They got a puncher's chance to play for a while, no question.
Finally, in District 3 Class 1A, a pair of Lancaster County teams squaring off. Lancaster Country Day against Linville Hill Christian. Where is Linville Hill? It is in Paradise, which is
there you go.
East of Strasburg, south of Kinzers. My brother lives in Paradise. I just saw him on Sunday. I said, do you know what Linville Hill is? He's like, no. I was like, do you know where it's at? No. So I say that, just to point out the location for those who aren't familiar, because it's been around for quite a long time, the school itself, but the basketball program only started about 5 years ago. They made it to states a couple years ago.
Tell them who the coach is.
And the head coach is Mike Schatzman, Pequay Valley alum, former Pequay Valley coach who led the Braves to, I believe, a couple of district playoff appearances. Through 2009, steps away to go watch his son of the same name play in college, eventually at Elizabethtown. Is basically out of coaching for like 10 years, and then Linville Hill says, hey, we have this basketball team, we need a coach. So this is his second year, is it, for Schatzman. Leads them to their first district championship win in program history. 51-42 is the final. Linville Hill is 22-3 overall. And there's 3 teams coming out of Lancaster County there going into states as Mount Calvary Christian, Linville, and Lancaster Country Day, which we'll get to here in a second. So overall, you got 6 district championship games in boys, and you got 4 teams that won it, right? Yeah, we got Linville, Lancaster Mennonite, Columbia, and Lampeter Strasburg.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Pretty strong. Pretty strong.
It's a good tournament.
Pretty unusual. I don't know if that's ever happened before.
It's a good tournament there.
But it doesn't happen often.
No.
Anyway.
Great tournament.
Okay, so now the state playoffs, half of the classes begin Tuesday, which is tonight as we sit. The other half tomorrow, and then the teams that play Tuesday play Friday. The teams that play Wednesday play Saturday. Ryan, take it away.
Breaking down the girls.
Let's break it down a little bit on the girls' side.
You got it. Okay, looks like 8 locals going.
Yeah.
8 locals going. 6A, Manheim Township, 6th seed out of District 3. Tough draw for the Strakes. They get Plymouth White Marsh, which is, oh, by the way, 29-0. District 1 champs. They're loaded.
Well, when you finish 6th in your district.
That's who you're going to get.
Yeah.
So tough draw for the Streaks, and they have to play at P-Dub on Tuesday on their home floor.
Yikes.
So, but hey, Township's in. Good luck to them. They're certainly chiseled and ready to play. They've played an awesome schedule. 5A, 2 teams in on Wednesday night. Manheim Central, the 4th seed. Barons play Roxborough, District 12 runner-up. Roxborough, guys, is 7-5. 7-5. 12 games in there in states.
Still spring training for Roxborough.
I guess so. 7-5.
7 game legs.
Central looking for its first PIAA victory, state playoff victory. Maddie Nyer, 1,323 career points for the Barons. I looked. She's up to 3rd already in program history as a junior.
Their first state playoff victory ever?
She needs like 40 points to get to number 2, and she needs about 600 points to catch Hillary Waltman next year for number 1 on the Barons all-time list.
I would think Hillary Waltman and the 7 Dwarves could have won a state playoff game.
No.
That's amazing. Yeah,
no.
Okay.
LS, pack up the bus. Pioneers have to go to South Fayette, the Whipfield champs. They beat 3-time Whipfield champ Chartiers Valley, last year's state runner-up in the District 7 final this weekend. That's a 258-mile one-way bus ride for LS.
That's not. They're like leaving the country. They're going to have passports and stuff.
It is a 6 o'clock game, which is nice, but it's 4 hours. So it's 8, 9, 10.
They probably left. They probably already left.
They're on their way. It'll be well after midnight till they get back. Tough draw for LS there, getting the Whipfield champs. Okay, 4A on Wednesday. Lancaster Catholic, 3rd seed out of District 3. They play Lansdale Catholic out of the Philly Catholic League. They're pretty good. They have 7 losses, but they're all against really good teams because they're in that.
This class seems strong in girls.
It is. Oh, yeah,
really
that's where
strong.
Archbishop Wood is,
Yeah,
and
Archbishop
DeLone,
Wood, yeah.
and Catholic.
Look at these teams.
Yeah, and Lansdale's like I said, Lansdale's got 7 losses, but they play Goretti, and they play O'Hara, and they play Wood. I mean, they play a really good schedule. They have a kid named Gabby Casey who scores 23 points a game. So Catholic's got to play some D here. That's on Wednesday. AAA, Tuesday night tonight. This is fascinating to me. Fascinating. Pequaway Valley's in. They play River Valley, District 6 champ. This is amazing. River Valley, this is their first season of girls varsity basketball.
Wow.
And they won the District 6 championship. They beat Forest Hills, which is a really good program. And now they're in the state playoffs.
District 6,
First
for
time.
people who don't know, is State College, Johnstown.
Middle of the state-ish kind of place.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, their top players are like freshmen.
That is amazing.
It is, yeah. So Pequaway Valley's got to go out to River Valley. I think it's in Blairsville?
Correct.
Blairsville.
Yeah.
That's Tuesday. Double A, 2 teams in, Tuesday night. Start with the champs, Linden Hall. This is a head scratcher here for me a little bit. They play Belmont Charter, District 12, 3rd place. John, what's Belmont Charter's record?
7-5.
No. Mike, any guesses?
Well, I see it here. So I'd be cheating.
1-4. How do you go 1-4
Now,
and make the state
I'm just gonna raise the possibility that is a typo.
Could be.
Because look here, we have on the Lampeter Strasburg girls who listed at 15-1.
They're 15-11.
Yeah.
So they forgot the 1.
Could be a typo.
So maybe Belmont's 11-4 or 1-14. I don't know, but they have them as 1-4
Something's not right there.
out of the Philly Pub League. So yeah, Linden Hall plays Belmont Charter. That game's at Manheim Township on Tuesday. Columbia, and I'll be at this game. They play Penn Treaty, the District 12 champ out of Philly Pub. They have 16 wins. They have a kid named Salati Franklin, 27 points and 11 boards a game.
Wow.
That's pretty good in 19 games. So, yeah, that's great. Bree Draghi from Columbia is at 915 points. So 85 points to get to 1,000 for Bree. Lastly, 1A, Mount Calvary gets a home game in E-Town. On Wednesday, they will host Shade, District 5, 3rd seed. Jenna Muha, 27 points and 14 rebounds a game. For Shade, that's pretty good.
For a team that's 11-12.
All right, how about that? Yeah, she's fantastic.
Okay.
And as mentioned, Mount Calvary coming off their first district championship. They get state started on Wednesday. Boom.
There it
Girls bracket.
is. Boom indeed. John?
All right, we will start.
go.
Well, I'm going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, as opposed to the classifications. Tuesday, Class 1A, Class 4A, Class 5A. Let's start in Class 1A with the champions, Linville Hill Christian from Paradise. They're actually going to be going to Octorara to play in the Octorara gym to play against Fanette Metal.
Planet Metal.
Third place team from District 5.
That's one of your top 10 team names.
Oh,
School names.
absolutely.
Planet
And
Metal.
hey, Octorara's claim to fame, what do they have in their gym?
The moon backboards.
Half moon background.
So that's going
Half
to be
moon
different.
backboards.
So you play
Love
at the
it.
Giant Center on
Love
Saturday,
it.
and then you get moon backboards.
Picture it, folks.
Where do you
We're
get this
painting
kind
a picture.
Yeah, where do you get this kind of coverage at?
Right.
I mean, come on.
Also, 2 other teams from Lancaster County in Class 1A playing on Tuesday. Lancaster Country Day, District 3 runner-up, will host, I'm going to be at this game on Tuesday night, where they will host Northumberland Christian, which is the 3rd place team from District 4. Finally, 3rd place team from District 3, Mount Calvary Christian. They will be going on the road to District 4 runner-up North Penn Liberty. That will be on Tuesday night. Class 4A, give it up for Elko, the Raiders, the LL Section 4 champs. They lose
Happy
the
for
first
them.
round of districts in 4A,
And they're still
then
playing.
they basically went out to get that final spot out of District 3 in Class 4A. And hey, here's your gift. You get to go on the road to District 12 champ Newman Goretti. This is the 3rd state playoff berth for Elko. They're still looking for the program's first state playoff win. All the berths have come since 2016 onward under Coach
Nice.
Brad Connors.
Good job,
the
man.
first came just a few years ago against Newman Goretti.
Goretti.
So they get
Wow.
to be matched
and
up
Newman
with them
Goretti
again.
is the Philadelphia Catholic League champion.
They're
which
pretty
is
good.
By light years, the best league in the state. And they're really playing well lately. They've won, I think, 10 of their last 11. The one loss was to Roman Catholic, and they beat Roman Catholic in the Catholic League playoffs.
Wow.
They have a couple of sophomore guards who are Division I players, Division I prospects. Tough.
Go get them, Raiders.
Tough spot for Elko.
Go get
God
'em.
love them. Give them credit.
Go for it.
For fighting through the losers bracket to keep
That's
their
impressive.
season alive.
I like stories like that. Good for
Man,
those
oh
guys.
man, this would be one of the biggest upsets in the history of this
Hey,
tournament.
Donegal beat Goretti a couple years ago. Remember that? Donegal beat Goretti a
Donegal
couple
beat
years
it
ago.
on a Magic, and that Newman Goretti team was even better.
They
than
were
this one.
really good.
They were nationally ranked, if I'm not
They had
mistaken.
the point guard who went to Kentucky on that team, if I recall.
Yeah, Quad A Green.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyway,
Speaking of teams,
All right.
Sorry,
lost
John.
in the
We
first
lost
round
your
and one
momentum.
out. Class 5A, give it up to Elizabethtown.
How about
they
the
are in
Banners?
LL Section 2.
Absolutely.
They kind of had an up and down season there in Section 2 play, but man, have they hit their stride here in districts.
for
They go
them.
to the losers bracket and win out to get that final spot in
beat
states
a
out of
good
District
Palmyra
3
team
5A,
by
yeah.
like 15.
And Patrick Gilhole had like a career high 32 points,
Wow.
his second 30-point game of the year, and his
Yeah.
younger brother Matt's getting all kind of D1 looks right now.
Nice.
So they have really nice pieces, and it seems to be coming together for them. They will go to District 7 champion Laurel Highlands on Tuesday night. Laurel Highlands undefeated 25-0. Tough draw there for the Bears, but hey, don't count them short.
Yeah, and
right.
almost all Laurel Highlands wins have been blowouts. I mean, they've really been dominant. And, Whippy, we'll see how. But, I mean, that seems like a really serious test for. That's what happens when you get in through the losers bracket.
E-Town picked up the program's first state playoff win 2 years ago in Iraqi Paris. He steps down. Lee
Right.
Eckert, the Hempfield alum, is the head coach. So this is their first state playoff berth under Lee Eckert. So try to pick up their first
Good for
win
those
for Lee
guys.
Eckert. Also in PIAA Class 5A, the District 3 champion, Lampeter Strasburg, 27-0. They get a home game on Tuesday night against the District 7 7th place team, Penn Hills, coming in at 18-5. Mike will be at that
Whoa.
one. So we will have coverage as you guys are watching this on the basketball page of Lancaster Online from Tuesday. Mike's going to be at Lampeter Strasburg. I'm going to be at Lancaster Country Day. All right, let's go to Wednesday. We have, classes 2A, 3A, 6A. I'll start in 2A. We got one Lancaster County team there, the District 3 champion, Lancaster Mennonite. They get a home game on Wednesday night against the District 5 runner-up, Winburn, who comes in at 16-8. Mike, I guess I'll just kind of pause it there quickly when you're looking at this bracket. We know Mennonite, it's been 5 years, I think, already, when Jeff Groff was the head coach. And I think Mennonite was either the district runner-up or third place team. They're in the western side of the bracket. They make it to the state semis. They should have made it to the final, if not for a buzzer-beating half-court shot by Richland. But here they are as the District 3 champ. And what do we think of the Blazers' chances?
Well, the favorite in this to win the state championship is Sacred Heart from out who won it last year. They've won 60 games in a row. And Mennonite's in the opposite half of the bracket. I mean, it's, again, enormous presumption here, but if they would get to the state final, they couldn't play that Sacred Heart team before the state final. And I don't see anybody else in this group that looks, there's no Newman Goretti or anybody like that in this bracket. So as far as I can tell, the Blazers, Mennonite has a chance to play for a while, and again, they're in the complete other side of the bracket from the one sort of acknowledged monster in this class.
Hey, since you guys were pointing it out earlier, teams with wonky records getting in the states, in the District 3, PIAA Class 2A, Sankofa Freedom, the third place team from District 12, is 6-15 overall.
Won a state title a couple years ago.
Yeah,
a few
they
years
did,
ago.
actually, and I think
that was in single A.
And I think they actually entered that state bracket with a losing record too, if I'm
6-15.
not mistaken, because they just play a rough schedule. PIAA Class 3A, we got one Lancaster County team there. They are the district champs, Columbia, the Tide. You would think they would get a home game, right? Nope. They're still in Lancaster County Wednesday night, playing at Manheim Township High School. Game starts at 7:30. Don't know what the deal is there. They will play the fifth place team at a District 12 Frere Charter, 11-14 overall, who lost to Hempfield by a large margin earlier in the year. So you got to like Columbia's chances there. And Mike, I guess I'll let you take it from here, because I think of all
Preach,
of our
Mike, preach.
Perhaps of all of our district champs, either girls or boys, the Columbia boys might have the toughest draw. You would think, okay, district champion, hey, they've had one of the best years in program history. They should contend for a state final. Man, you look at that bracket, good grief.
Preach, Mike. Tell the people. Tell the people.
Yeah, Math, Civics, and Science, which is a team from the Philadelphia Public League, which won District 12. They're in Columbia's half of the bracket. West Catholic, which was from the Philadelphia Catholic League, which was one of the best teams in the state all year. They did get upset by Math, Civics, and Science for the district title. They're in the half of the bracket. Devon Prep, which beat Reading and has a bunch of quality wins on their resume, is in their half of the bracket. The defending state champion, Loyalsock, 23-4, one of the most impressive teams we saw in state championship weekend last year. All of those teams are in Columbia's half of the bracket. And Executive Education, which has
Columbia.
a 6'9" sophomore and a 6'6" kid who's going to Florida State, and another Division I player.
We like their chances Wednesday.
I mean, they should win their first round game. They should win. They're playing a team that Hempfield beat by 50 in the first weekend of the.
And then Saturday they'll be a huge underdog.
Yeah. After that, it gets really tough.
Wow.
It seems to me like this Columbia team, if they were really playing in their weight class, would be good enough to win a state championship or contend for it. And when I look at what they've got to go through to get there, it's hard for me to believe.
That's killer.
Yeah. For what it's worth, Columbia looking for their first state playoff win since 2015 when Matt Johns was the head coach, looking for their first state playoff win for Coach Kerry Clover. So the Tide going for some historic marks at the very least on Wednesday. Finally, in Class 6A, we will start with the District 3 runner-up Warwick. The Warriors are 26 overall. They will get a home game Wednesday night against Mount Lebanon. It was the fourth place team from District 7. They're 16-9 overall. Warwick, I want to throw some nuggets in here. It's their 10th state playoff appearance overall, first since 2010, first under 7th-year coach Chris Christensen. Their last state playoff victory, 1986.
Jack Hurd would have been on that team.
Yeah,
Probably was.
If you had to have
He
been.
would have been, yeah.
Sophomore.
Yeah, that's
the year
right.
before I was born, by the way.
Oh, exciting.
Also, Hempfield will be on the road. They're going to Norristown, the District 1 runner-up. Norristown is 20-7 overall. Hempfield last state playoff victory came in the 6A first round in 2018, so 4 years ago. Fourth time in 7 years, fourth under Coach Danny Walk as far as the state playoff appearance. So Hempfield rolling there, even though they lost, district quarter, semis?
Hempfield in the same category as Elizabethtown and Elko. Give them credit for grinding it out in the losers bracket to keep their seasons alive. And I think both Warwick and Hempfield made out okay in the bracket. I mean, obviously, any win in the state playoffs in 6A is a good win. None of these are automatic, but I think these are relatively winnable games that both Warwick and Hempfield have in the first round. We'll see.
Yeah, because if Hempfield can get past the first round, you would think you would like their chances in the second round, then possibly get Reading in the state quarters or semis or whatever it is.
Yeah, and that North Hills team has had a great year.
They're undefeated,
They would
right?
play in the Pittsburgh North
they're
Hills.
undefeated?
They've had a great year. They lost in the District
Fox
7
Chapel?
championship game.
Yeah.
To Fox Chapel. But yeah, when you think about the totality of 6A and the Lower Marions and people like that, Hempfield and Warwick, I thought, have a fighting chance to play for a little bit.
And if Warwick can continue this magical run and get it started again, there's a chance perhaps we get a state semifinal between Warwick and Reading. Who knows, because they're in that bottom half of the bracket.
Yeah, it's possible. It's a long shot, but it's
Sure,
possible.
it's a long shot.
Absolutely.
Wow. So I think overall, boys, there's 9 teams from Lancaster County plus LL League member Elko. So that's 10 teams we're keeping an eye on in boys.
And 8 in girls, yeah. Tuesday, I'm going to do Columbia Penn Treaty. I've never been to Bonner Prendergast in Drexel Hill. I'm going back-to-back nights. I'll be at Prendy on Tuesday for Columbia, Penn Treaty. I'll be there Wednesday for Lancaster Catholic, Lansdale Catholic. Both LC, both the Crusaders.
Oh.
So, yeah.
I'm going to LS tonight and Warwick tomorrow night.
And I'm going to Lancaster Country Day Tuesday night, and we'll be covering Columbia at Manheim Township. Opponent escapes me at the moment, but I'll be at that game Wednesday night. There's a lot in my brain.
There's a lot going on right now.
I seem to recall that when I wrapped up the show last week, I said, well, there'll be a lot more clarity next week,
Maybe
right?
not.
Really?
Maybe
No,
not.
there's not more clarity. No. There's just lots and lots of hoops. But we're not complaining because lots and lots of hoops is a good thing. Am I right, guys?
It's a grind, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I love it. And hopefully we have a basketball show next week. We'll get some teams to get through.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
We'll have some teams get through.
So there you have it. It's the LL Basketball Roundtable brought to you by Thaddeus Stevens College of Technology. Mike Gross, John Walk, Jeff Reinhardt. See you later.